It's another day, and the whole thing is going to be like the whole thing has been chaotic. That is the right word. So the whole thing about being a creative is something everyone do not really understand yet. Some people understand, some do not understand. It's a chaotic process. Being creative is you really being creative. Fuck it.
I know you coming home. She say let's just smoke so she don't talk.
As a creator, everything that we know today is not because we really know it. It's not because we really know how to do it easily. It's not because we're really blessed with it, although it's a blessing. But there's something else we also know, that it is also a curse at the same time. I call it blessing, a curse, and it's chaotic. It can be chaotic at some time. So here's what I'm trying to say. As human beings, we have our limits. We have boundaries. Just the way you have a limit, the limit for how our phone or devices can perform, our laptop can perform. The same thing goes with humans. And sometimes we also try as much as possible to push that device limit. That is where the creative process comes as a creator. Most times we are very stubborn. We do not want to give up. We always want to continue and see how everything turns out. Maybe just me, because I'm about to tell you how chaotic it can be for me as a creator most times. But I don't know if it's really chaotic sometimes. Sometimes I feel it's a blessing. I feel it's a curse at the same time. So in most scenarios, I push my limit. And when I push my limit, it turns out that it might look really chaotic. But when I come back to that same stuff again, I come back to that same particular thing that I have done, I'm always fascinated. I'm like, wow, I really did this particular thing. So does that mean that the chaotic part is really the right part? No. If not, what is the right step to take as a creator? Yeah. So it turns out that I said like something else. When I push my limit, that it turns out that I'm doing best out of the ordinary things that I have done. This is what I'm trying to say. If I am like working on a particular project now, let's say I'm working on a project on Figma, which is like a UI UX, something like product design, and I am working on a picture manipulation or Photoshop, and I'm working on an edit on Premiere Pro at the same time. It's normal for you not to be able to maneuver within the three of them at the same time and process ideas for that particular thing at the same time, right? But what if there was a way for you to do everything at the same time? That's what I mean, chaotic. It turns out that my own part of trying to create something is that I must be at that level of at that peak of, how will I call it, a prime mode. That is the right word. So let me give you a scenario I'm talking about. If I'm on figure right now, I'm pushing pixels, I'm pushing shapes right now. I just got this idea for a prototype. I just want to work on something. Then I get an idea now on Premiere Pro that why don't you put a glitch in this particular video? It turns out that it's when I am in a chaotic state that ideas to pop out. And that is where and when and where or when the whole harmony of flow or rhythm, rhythm is the right word. That's when the whole rhythm, my own rhythm comes in as a creator. It must be chaotic. If it's not chaotic, I can't create. If it's normal, I won't be comfortable. So it has to be chaotic. Now, this is why I feel it is a blessing, but it is not like an efficient way of working. You can't do that every day, like trying to process three things at once. It's not normal. It's not advisable, health-wise, and any other thing. But if there's a reading, there is a kind of like one thing about reading or any, let's say, flow, anything when you're moving goes this a steady, like, what is that? Is a physics thing behind it, I don't know. But you understand what I'm trying to say. When you're going at a steady speed, you're getting to your destination, right? You're not going left, right. That's the thing with rhythm and flow and all the thing. So once you understand that this can be a blessing and you know how to use it, it won't really be chaotic. It will be a blessing in disguise. But I feel like it can't be efficient enough because this is where it comes in. You are running on a human body. You understand that your limit is going to come. You can break down any day. I can break down any day. I'll be like, oh mom, I can just be sick one day because of how chaotic the process my reading is, my workflow is. So it's a blessing and it's not efficient enough and it's not advisable. So not everyone has blessing. So it's a blessing in the course and everything at the same time. Sad and interesting and beautiful. This is where it comes in as cause, because remember when I said I have to be at a prime mode, I have to be at a level, I have to so this is where it gets interesting. My brain have to be hyperactive. If I'm doing one thing, I get really bored. If I'm doing two things, it gets really interesting. If I'm doing three things, it gets really chaotic. That is the cause. The cause is a blessing. And how will I explain it? Don't try it at all. Do not try it at all first. I have to do this particular creative at once in order for me to maintain that rhythm right. My whole system won't be comfortable if I'm working on one thing at once. Why? I do not know. If I move to the second thing, I open the second software now, it gets really interesting, like I said. So, if there's a solution to it, be interesting because I enjoy everything at once, doing everything at once. But doing one at once can be less interesting. So it's a blessing in disguise. Or the other way around. Popping or moving around the two of them.
I just wanna taste, I just wanna taste brown sugar.
So the reason I'm telling you about this blessing and curse and the whole redeem thing is do what works for you best. But at the same time, if you see that it can be chaotic, because nothing chaotic is good. Let's be sincere. That's off. But you have to watch other things. If something chaotic is happening, other things also going wrong at the same time. What do I mean? Your health is really important, but do what works for you. Your mental state is really important, but do what works for you. Because the moment you follow what someone else is doing, it might not really work the way your whole system wants it to work, the speed that you want it to go, the rhythm I want it, just do what works for you, work best for you. So at the end of the day, I realized that it's a blessing, can be chaotic, and it can be a curse. So there have to be a balance within everything in this life. Yeah, so please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my channel. Please channel to my channel. If you can't channel to the channel,